When you're identifying changes to try for your PDSA cycles, one of the most important questions you can answer is, where is our process most likely to fail, and what could we do to prevent that? Failure mode and effects analysis, or FMEA, is a classic tool for answering that question. But there are different levels of FMEA, and for most everyday quality improvement efforts, a simplified version is all you need. A traditional FMEA is highly detailed and technical. It involves assigning numerical scores for severity, frequency, and detectability of each failure mode, calculating a risk priority number, and using those scores to rank failures. This level of rigor is essential in industries like aviation, medical device safety, or high-risk hospital operations. But for frontline quality improvement teams working on everyday clinical processes, that degree of complexity can slow things down. A simplified FMEA keeps the core purpose, finding where the process breaks and what matters most, but removes the heavy scoring system. Instead, teams talk through failures using practical judgment. How often does this happen? How big is the impact? And how feasible is it to fix? This makes it fast, collaborative, and completely doable in a regular team meeting. To conduct a simplified FMEA, you start with a basic understanding of the steps in your process. You don't need a perfect process map, just a simple outline of step 1, step 2, step 3, and so on. Then you walk through the process step by step, asking, what could go wrong here? For example, if your team is tackling delays in scheduling follow-up appointments, failure modes might include: the provider forgets to place the follow-up order routes to the wrong pool, scheduler chooses the wrong appointment type, patient is never contacted, confirmation message doesn't send. This step is about revealing the realistic vulnerabilities in your system, not imagining every possible scenario. Once the team has identified the key failure modes, the next step is turning those insights into potential interventions or solutions. You simply ask, what could we try that would prevent or reduce this failure? For example, if providers forget to place follow-up orders, you could test a visual alert in the electronic note system. If orders are routed incorrectly, test a standardized routing rule. If appointment types are entered wrong, test a double-check script or drop-down guide. If patients are not being contacted, test a same-day scheduling attempt before they leave. If confirmations fail, test an automated reminder or backup alert. Suddenly, the failures point directly to actionable ideas your team can test with PDSA cycles. Simplified FMEA helps teams understand where processes break down, distinguish high-impact failures from minor ones, generate practical interventions to prevent those failures, and choose focused PDSA tests that are most likely to lead to improvement. It's one of the most efficient ways to move from understanding your system to identifying ideas for meaningful change.